Good morning, everybody. We're going to conclude the week of reviews with another installment of our tribute and benefit concerts review series. This morning, we're going to conclude things with our look at the Silver Clef Award winners benefit concert Blu-ray, which took place in 1990 at Knebworth Castle in England, and it is a three-hour concert to benefit the Norloff Roberts Music Therapy Foundation, with such English luminaries as Dire Straits, Eric Clapton, Tears for Fears, Pink Floyd, which was the headlining act, and we'll get to them in a second. Tears for Fears, Eric Clapton, Elton John, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and one of my favorite acts, Status Quo, and many, many more. Like I said, this was a 3-hour concert, and it was first released on DVD as a 2-pack, and then it came out on Blu-ray with the whole concert on one Blu-ray. And the Blu-ray and the DVD releases both mirror. There's no extra tracks. They bring together highlights from the shows because the shows were quite long, or the show was quite long, and a couple of the other acts that appeared include Cliff Richard, Paul McCartney, Genesis, and Phil Collins. And actually, Phil Collins performed both a solo set and a Genesis set, and the last portion of the Genesis set included Phil Collins' solo band backing them up on the Turn It On Again medley, but we'll get to that in a second because it's one of my favorite performances from the show. But some of my favorite performances from the show include the Turn It On Again medley by Phil Collins, Phil Collins and Genesis, which he, along with the song Turn It On Again, he also does a medley of Pinball Wizard, and Hold On, or Reach Out, I'll Be There by the Four Tops, and my favorite, Everybody Needs Somebody to Love by the Blues Brothers, which he closes the medley with. And it also, like I said, he also brings out some of his solo band musicians, including Leland Sklar on bass, his horn section, and Daryl Stromer on guitar. But some of my other favorite performances are, of course, Paul McCartney, which he does Birthday, Coming Up, and Hey Jude, I believe. And Paul was on tour in 1990 to support Flowers in the Dirt. And but one of my all-time favorite groups that participated in this show was Status Quo. They do one of my all-time favorite Status Quo songs, Dirty Water, which is the song that I was first introduced to through this DVD. And they do Whatever You Want, rocking all over the world, and you're in the army now. But like I said, one of my all-time favorite performances is their Dirty Water. And Eric Clapton, the songs that are present on his portion of the show, or were recorded, were Before You Accuse Me, and Tearing Us Apart, but he also does a song that wasn't recorded, which was Sunshine of Your Love. But along with his band, Mark Knopfler comes out and does a Dire Straits song, a couple Dire Straits songs such as Money for Nothing. And then Elton John comes out and does sad songs, Say So Much and Sacrifice. And one of the songs that was present on the CD version, but not on the Blu-ray or DVD counterpart, was Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. And Cliff Richard, one of my favorite, I love his version of Good Golly Miss Molly that he does too. And the whole show opens up with a rainy performance from Tears for Fears, and one of the highlights of their set was Everybody Wants to Rule the World, of course. And I will say this much for Jimmy Page and Robert Plant's performance at this show: it is much better than their Live Aid performance. As far as the Led Zeppelin songs that they do go, they do rock and roll. But the only performer to get a standalone CD released of their performance was Pink Floyd. But one of the songs, or a couple of songs that were present on the Blu-ray, were Shine On You Crazy Diamond and Run Like Hell. But Run Like Hell and Comfortably Numb were on the CD counterpart. But like I said, their entire performance was released to CD a couple years ago as part of one of their box set releases. I think the later years. And one of the things that I was kind of most interested about is that the version of Great Gig in the Sky that was performed, I think, with the original singer, or one of the original singers that was actually on the Dark Side version on the record, Claire Torrey. She was the vocalist that did the vocalization or the singing of Great Gig in the Sky, and she actually appeared with Pink Floyd at this performance. And like I said, it was released in its entirety in the early years box set and separately, I believe. And it's only a 7-song set, but some of the other songs they do include Money and Great Gig in the Sky and Sorrow. But you can see the whole set list in the screen recording. And so, by the way, By the way, there will not be any release date for the Blu-ray because I was unable to find one. I am gonna just put for the release date 1990 because I was unable to find a actual release date for the Blu-ray or the CD. I hope you enjoy this. I give this 5 stars. Shot and produced by Adam Brown. Audio and video provided by WeVideo. Images provided by Google Images. Screen recordings taken from Discogs, Wikipedia, and Amazon.com. The background music in today's video is Mall Walkers by Audionautics. I'm going to put a link up in the cards to our review of the Eric Clapton interview CD, so you can get a little more background on the Silver Clef Award winners show because he talks about it in the interview.